Um, Hello, and welcome to another SPL recap. I'm Hazer, or the Twitter guy, depending on where you know me from. You might also know me as Paul. Weird aside, I've had this thing recently where people who don't know me call me Paul. I don't know who they are, and they call me Paul. It's really strange. It's really like jarring. I don't really like it. It's a weird one. Old Obage coach guy. That's also me. Undefeated SML guy. If only that were me. Hey, Mando. Right. So this week we're gonna do something slightly different. There's actually been fucking eight sets since the last time I did one of these. 8 fucking sets. How can there be 8 sets in a week? That's so dumb. That's so many. Shoutouts to everybody who was involved in that. That's a lot of effort. One thing I'm not going to do is go to the effort of breaking down all 8 of those sets because that's way too much effort. So we're gonna go down a bit of a different route this week. We're gonna first of all start off with the roster changes that we've seen. We've seen Trifecta and LG make roster changes. We'll talk about that, the implications of that, whether I think they're good or bad or middling. And we can have a little discussion around that, and then we'll move into the performances over the last week or so. I guess we'll talk about how Visa have done, Team Visa, Raffer and Co. We'll talk about Splice looking incredible. We'll talk about United, and I guess we could touch on Rival as well. I think they're all the teams that have played, and yeah, camera keeps losing focus. Let me try and yeah, I saw that. Let's see if we can keep it focused. Hopefully it stays focused now. But yeah, let me know if it keeps doing that, and I will do my utmost to fix it. So yeah, let's go into the roster changes first. I guess I can just stay full screen for this, even though it's a bit weird. I feel like I'm a bit in the middle of the screen here. There's also a lot of screen up here. Nothing's going on in. But, you know, it is what it is. So we'll start off. Is that Coca-Cola? No, I'll tell you what it is. It's this wine. Thanks very much for the sub.
Everyone gets a bees.
That's what it is. This wine. It's a fucking weird wine. But that's what we're drinking. Thanks very much for the 9 months, CFD. Much appreciated. Welcome back to the hashtag Hey Nation. I think I didn't really show that. Hashtag Hey Nation. Right. So Trifecta point of view. Let's start off where the roster changes start off. Right, I'm not doing it again. You guys saw the wine. You didn't see the wine. I can't even read what it says. Like Garnacha. It's got a fucking weird chicken looking motherfucker on the front. It's not a chicken. It must be like is it a hawk? I don't know. There's something on the front. Yeah. Am I going over SML? Nah. Probably not. I'll go over MSI stuff next week after everything's decided. Right. Trifecta. So Trifecta made the decision to kick Laspera and pick up Moswell. Moswell, I guess that's something we can touch on. Moswell claimed to step down from so Moswell I don't think really said anything. There was chat from some of the members of Spice about why Moswell left. The fact that he was homesick or he was having personal problems or he wasn't enjoying Smite. It seems like that was just bullshit, to be honest. He's already back. Makes me think whether he told them that or whether they've agreed to say that to make things seem less bad or whatever. Moswell left that team because he was unhappy in the team environment. The same reason. It was also, yeah, that was kind of an aside though, Quint. I don't think it was, I don't know. I think Moswell stepped down and the primary reason was he wasn't happy with the environment on Splice, and Sino did the same, and then Divios got kicked. So extrapolating from that, you can say, alright, there was probably some problem with Divios. I wonder if we'll see Divios back in the SPL anytime soon. I have not heard anything about him or from anyone around what he's up to nowadays. So we'll see. I'd like to see Divios back. Divios is a really good player. Maybe he'll learn something from this experience, and it'll make him grow as a person, and he'll recognize that maybe he needs to improve the way he acts. I hope so, and I hope to see him back because I think he's really fucking sick at Smite. I don't know. I've never had a problem with Divios either, personally. Like, face to face, he's always seemed alright. He's not that loud a guy or that outgoing a guy. Mostly kept to himself, I guess, when I was around. But he seems like a nice enough dude. Maybe he just had a bit of an issue in competitive where he would be a bit too passionate or whatever. Maybe a bit too controlling and went about things the wrong way. He's young. I hope he learns and comes back. I would like to see him in the league again. But regardless of all that, that had the knock-on effect. The Moswell became a free agent. Trifecta kicked Lasbra, picked up Moswell. So, let's talk about that. Good decision, bad decision. For me, it's an improvement in every way. I don't really see a way in which it's not an improvement. Maybe not in terms of stream revenue for your organization is the one. But Moswell's a much better mid laner than Lasbra is. I've seen it around a lot. A lot of people saying that maybe Lasbra should have been jungle ahead of Weekend. I don't see why that is. Everybody wants to be really nice about Lasbra. I like Lasbra a lot. I think he's a great guy, a good streamer, a good player. But people seem to have this, like I've seen it, even the caster's F-Dot keeps going on about how last year he was such a big rising star and stuff like that. And I think he was good last year in the SML, but I don't even think he was the best player on his team throughout the regular season. I think when he went to LAN, he was really good on Pele, and that was it. And again, I think that's what we've seen since he's gone to the jungle for LG. But anyway, let's focus on Trifecta for now. Getting in a proper mid laner is only going to be a good thing for them. Hopefully Moswell helps them settle down as well and play better. But yeah, I think the whole thing with people saying Lasbra should have been jungle over Weekend. Maybe at the start of the season you could have said that, and I would have said, yeah, fair enough, you've got a point. As the season went on and Weekend played really, really fucking well, I think it's just plain bias to say that Weekend didn't deserve that spot. The Trifecta kicking Lasbra thing, I don't have a problem with I don't think, I'm not offended for Lasbra. I just think the way that this was the announcement that Trifecta did, where they did the whole thing about kicking Weekend, pretending they were kicking Weekend and then kicking Lasbra and all that shit. I don't think it's offensive. I just think it's shite. I think it's been done a lot, and every time it's been terrible. Even at the start of the split, SSG did something like that, where they had Weekend announce that they were staying in the SPL. What are you gaining from this? I don't understand.
Everyone gets a B.
Thanks for the 3 months, man. Much appreciated. I don't understand what orgs think they're gaining from this. It's an inside joke with them and the people in the know. People get mad about it, and then later on they're like, oh, I shouldn't have been mad, I guess. I feel like nobody's like, haha, that was really funny. I'm glad that they pretended they were kicking somebody else. I think it's shit. I think that people should stop doing it. I really think people should stop doing it. I think it's just utter crap. Hey Dan, how you doing, man? That's my feeling on that. It doesn't offend me. I don't think it offends Lasbra either. I think if you're gonna get upset on Lasbra's behalf, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Not a big deal. I just think the whole concept of these, haha, fooled you, everybody who follows our brand. We're not kicking this person, we're kicking somebody else, or we're not making roster changes, or we're sticking with the same roster. It's all just unfunny and crap. Maybe the first time it was done, it was funny. Maybe at a stretch. About the fucking 9th time, even just in Smite, it's not funny. You hate it when Smite Pro supports it? Yeah, me too, fine. I think it's just gash. It's just unfunny. So that's my opinion on that. But as for the decision, as I've said already, I think the decision for Trifecta, they gave that roster a good amount of time to prove that they could make it work. They gave that roster a good amount of time to try and make it work. The roster looked worse as time went on. They looked better in the first couple of weeks. Slowly and slowly, they got worse and worse. And at the end of the day, you got to make changes. I think that's one thing Trifecta have done in the past. You look at the way they made roster changes last year, which is now they built what is now the SK roster. They weren't doing great, and they made changes. They brought in players from the SML, and it worked out for them. I think, again, it's a smart decision. They've made a good decision. They gave the roster time. It wasn't working, and they switched it up now. So Trifecta, I think, definitively a good thing. They changed their roster. LG. So LG, I think the move from... So I was saying previously that I thought Mollusk last year was a really good jungler in the SML. I think that this year he's been... Yeah, that is weird that nobody's talked about Divios leaving. Outside of, I did it about a bit ago, but yeah. It is unusual that it's not had any coverage. I guess it's because they don't want to talk about why he's off the team. I don't know. Right, LG. So LG, if you guys didn't know, have gotten rid of the Mollusk in the jungle and replaced him with Laspra, who was obviously a free agent. So this all happened around the same time. I guess there was maybe a week, 2 week period where this kind of stuff was figured out. I feel bad for Mollusk. I think he's a good guy and a good player. On the other hand, I think LG, as well as Trifecta, they were kind of at the stage where they had to make a roster change just to switch things up. I said this before about SSG as well, where you get into this mindset where like things are going so wrong that I feel like making a roster change is good almost no matter what. In this case, I think it's a bit of a lateral move, a bit of a sideways move. Mollusk and Laspra, I think, are pretty similar skill levels, pretty similar skill caps.
You
maybe.
Get bees, and you get bees. Everyone
Thanks for the
gets
Twitch
bees.
Prime sub at Lollipop, much appreciated. I think Mollusk played all right. I think he was maybe the third best player on that team. I'd probably have Joshi and Zalia above him for their performances so far. Joshi at the top, then Zalia, then Mollusk. Mollusk had a good couple of weeks at the start, and then kind of looked pretty anonymous from then on, but he didn't look bad like Oceans and Kiki have, in my opinion. I think if you were gonna make an ideal roster change there, it would be Kiki. Like everybody, right? So everybody seems to like LG. I like the guys on LG. I think the guys on LG are all really nice guys, but there's no question that they've been underperforming. I think Kiki's a super cool guy and he's done really well in the SPL over the years, but he's playing really badly. I feel like nobody's really saying it out loud. Thanks for the 3 months. Kiki has played. He's died a lot for the sins of his teammates as well. To be fair to Kiki, but also he's just like, his god pool has been really eclectic. It's not been the top meta gods in support, and he's played poorly overall. And I think if they were going to make a roster change, ideally it would be Kiki out. But who do you pick up in support? I don't really know what options there are. There's genetics in EU. He has uni. I don't know if he'd be able to move. I don't know if he'd be able to get a visa. I don't know what Gino's situation is in NA. There's Awesome Jake, yeah. Big pickup that would be. That would be fascinating, at least, as a social experiment. Kiki is a solo laner. Yeah, but Kiki's not going to get a spot in solo with the level of talent in solo this year. Especially because Divios is there. And Oceans as well, I feel like hasn't looked good. He looked good on Zeus in a couple games. And that's been it. For me, Oceans and Kiki have been the two weakest players on that team. But the thing is, there's not really replacements for those players. You look at the support replacements, as I said, there's genetics in EU. I'm not sure if he could move. I don't know about Gino and NA. Maybe you could get Gino. Maybe you could look at someone from Sanguine. I can't even think what the name of the Sanguine sport is right now. I'm sorry. I like the Sanguine guys. They're good players, but my brain's been kind of off on the NASML recently. Wrong you. Of course it's Wrong you. Yeah, Wrong you is good. But I don't know. I think if there's a player from Sanguine that's going to get a shot, it'll probably be like Shinto or something. We'll see. Either way, yeah, Oceans is ADC. No, Oceans is back to mid. That's wrong. Gino's in college. He's not moving. So there you go. There's no one to replace Kiki with. So that sucks. Unless you were to get Laspra to come in and play support, which again, he's just proved that he can't change roles so easily. One thing that's worth noting, I guess, is the amount of players that have transferred to mid this year and whether they've worked or not. You look at Laspra, like people have been saying that Trifecta even trying him in mid was a bad idea. Again, this I think was F. Sorry, I feel like I'm harping on about F bit here, but regardless, people have been saying that even trying out Laspra in mid was a mistake by Trifecta. I don't see that at all. I mean, we've seen Panda Cat transition to mid and Dardes transition to mid and look amazing. And on the other hand, we've seen Oceans and Laspra transfer to mid on weaker sides and not look good. So it could have gone either way. I think for those players, it's not gone well. I think particularly Laspra just looked lost in mid. And now he's in the jungle for LG. I think it'll maybe be a short-term improvement for LG, but it's not going to solve their problems, as we see this week in the games that they've played. They've not really looked any better. I think Laspra has come into the jungle and done almost exactly what I expected of him, which was to look good on Pele and to be pretty absent on everything else. I think he had maybe one good Erlang game as well, and he's had a couple good Pele games, and that's about it. Unimpressed. Was Oceans a mid main? I thought he was in. Oh, okay, fair enough. So yeah, there you go. It's been 2 players who have moved to mid that have succeeded and one that's failed, and I guess Andy has now moved to mid again. So we'll see how that goes going forward. I think it's going to work out this time. Can we all agree that Moswell's the best? Yeah, I think Moswell's great. I'm a fan of Moswell. I think he's a big cutie. Right. Did I cover everything on the roster changes that I wanted to cover? I'm trying to think. And I normally have notes for this kind of thing, but today I don't really. Hey, Jeffrey. Shame no red wine. Speculation on Splice solo replacement? Well, from what they said on Esports Weekly, Kabam is playing solo for this week. On Splice solo replacement later on, fuck if I know. I thought maybe SOT.
You get bees, everyone gets a bees.
Thanks for the 26 months, bad. God damn, much appreciated. Kabam vs Deathwalker. Well, the thing is as well, I considered the fact that you've also got Cyclone Spin playing ADC on that team. If you guys didn't know, Kabam was traditionally an ADC player. I don't know how new some of you guys are. Kabam was traditionally an ADC player, so it could be that Kabam goes and plays ADC and Cyclone plays solo. Maybe? I would rather it goes the other way, but either way, we'll see how it goes. I guess that's a good time to transition out. Unless anybody has any questions around LG and Trifecta roster changes, we'll jump in. We'll jump into the games. Alright, let's fucking do it. Oh, here we are. Here's what I prepared earlier. We got a nice photo of Raf Boy there to support his team. Is this the right week? Yes. Cool. So what we're going to do this week, we're not going to go specifically into individual games. We're just going to talk about the sets and how they looked and the results. So here you go. Splice 3 over LG. Who gives a shit, dude? It was boring. Splice looked good. LG looked bad. This is going to be a pattern for the sets involving... Oh, fuck, I've missed this one. First of all, Trifecta looked bad. Rival looked good. Is this the set where Rival kind of trolled? I think this is the set where game 1, Rival picked Shaq solo and nearly lost. If Fine OK is still in the chat to confirm. That was fucking terrible, dude. Maybe the Shaq is somebody that's going to work, but... Artemis solo, that was against... Artemis solo was against LG. In a previous set. They still won with Shaq, I know. I know. They did. It's disappointing. Shaq, I think, has a 100% win rate in the SPL, unless I'm mistaken. I really need to finish my... I'm writing a web app. I really need to finish it before MSI, so we can actually have some nice stats to look at. Because apparently the esports site is incapable of doing it despite having the good day. Don't get into it, Paul. Don't get into it. Yeah, they almost threw. But either way, Rival dominated Trifecta. Was pretty boring. Splice dominated LG. It was pretty boring. Nothing to talk about in either of these sets. Splice dominated Trifecta. Nothing to talk about. And then we came on to an interesting set. So the interesting thing about these sets is how damn good Splice looked. And that's going to be a pattern going into next week as well. Well, the next week after this, the Monday and the Tuesday games. But goddamn did they look clean. They looked strong. And it was more of the same for Trifecta and LG. That's all there is to say about it. Nothing seems to have changed. They look like they can kind of tango in the early game in some games, and then the mid game comes around and they just absolutely fall apart. But United versus Team Visa was a set. It was a real set. I think United went up 2-0. Visa brought it back to 2-2. But United closed out the set, which is something I didn't expect too much. I feel a little bit like Visa are in their own heads now. It's a bit scary for them. Because I think up to now they've looked a much stronger team than a United had. Up until that Splice set, they looked really, really good. But I feel like the Splice set really got into their heads a bit, and they just haven't performed at the same level since. People have started banning the AMC every game. In this set, BMT stepped it up big style in the first couple games on the Agni. He looked really, really good. I've been wondering where Agni was, by the way. I've been thinking, like, how is he just fallen off the map? He's good into Double Hunter. He's pretty alright into magical ADCs. He has great area control. His early game's not too bad. He's just generally a good, safe pick. I've just been surprised not to see him so far. Hebo as well is quite a common pick, and I feel like Agni does pretty well into Hebo. A better mid laner than me would probably tell you otherwise, but that's what my peanut brain thinks. But yeah, Agni seemed to be back. BMT looked really sick on it. For me, Visa at the moment, the issue came where their strength was before, right? So Visa looked really, really sick in the side lanes, like really incredible in the side lanes. And then it felt like Funball and Nika got handled pretty badly by Cyclone and Baskin. I was talking shit about your check, fine. They got handled by Fino and Baskin, and I feel like, not Fino and fucking hell. God damn it, fine. Ruining my thread of conversation. They got handled by Splice, they got handled by Cyclone and Baskin. And I feel like that kind of, I don't know if it knocked their confidence. But neither of them has been quite the same since. I feel like Funball maybe started overvaluing Jingwei, and then made this big switch over to like, I feel like they just feel a bit lost. I haven't seen the Sol in a while from Funball. I don't know. They just seem a bit confused by what's going on. Amamak, if you message me again, I'm blocking you. Because that's annoying, it comes up. Visa need a coach? I'd say so. I would like them to have a coach. The issue is there aren't many. Also, I think my inspect elementing fucks that up. Is that alignment always that fucked? Nah, it probably was me. Is this one fucked? Yeah. Is it? I don't know. Visa needs a coach, yeah. I'd like them to get a coach. We'll see if they get one. There's not a law around. Anyway, United come out on top, something I didn't really expect. The first victory they've found since they brought Emil into the team. They looked much, much stronger. I'll tell you who the most consistent player for United has been for me. I expected Kalas and Ice to really come in strong. And I feel like they haven't so much, but someone who has is Benji. Benji strikes me like there's a few solo laners like this. Maniac was definitely one. There's some solo variety, I think, is maybe one. There's solo laners who just don't play the game sometimes and look really good, and Benji strikes me as one of those. I don't know if any NA people in the chat can confirm that for me, but he seems to me like a guy who only shows up for scrims, you know? And maybe he's like, I don't really know what's been going on. He never plays. Yeah. He seems like that kind of guy to me, where he just kind of gets by on his existing experience and like a bit of swagger. I'm going to call it swagger. like a bit of overconfidence in his own ability somehow, you know? Like there's a few players who I think are like that. Who are, yeah, motherfucking alphas. And that helps them, you know? I think it's useful in some jobs. Which I think is super cool. I think he's been really good. You saying they got cancelled on constantly? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe they're booking scrims versus the wrong teams in that case. I don't know if they're late to booking scrims or if they're also... I can imagine that they're, like, with ML being in EU and stuff like that, they probably didn't fight too hard to not get cancelled on. But yeah, that was a cool set. If you guys want to watch back a set from last week, I'd say this is the one to watch. It was good. It was the only good set of this week of SPL, I'd say, actually. Yeah. Let's go into the next week. I have prepared this ahead of time this week. We're ahead of the game. We saw Visa versus LG. Like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say happened here? Nothing interesting. Nothing surprising. It's the only surprising thing is how unsurprising all the games involving LG and Trifecta were this week. I hate to say it because I like the thing is, right? It'd be so easy to jump on LG and Trifecta, but I like both teams is the thing. I think they're cool guys. The one thing that I would say is, to me, LG look a lot more defeated and a lot less like they're... Looking at LG, I don't really see people who grind the game as well. And I don't see a natural leader to kind of pull them out of where they're at, which is where I think they're in more trouble than Trifecta. This is kind of skipping forward to this result, the 3-1 to Trifecta. I think LG, maybe having Lasper come in could be good for them. Maybe he's going to be a bit more of a leader for them and encourage them to you know, get out of the situation they're in. But the other guys I see more as followers than leaders. And it was the same for Mollusk, honestly. Mollusk is a cool guy, and to be fair, I don't know Mollusk that well, so I can't really tell you for sure whether he was a follower or a leader, but he seems like a really laid back kind of guy. And sometimes you need someone who's a bit of a stronger presence, someone who's going to tell you, this is when we're practicing, this is when we're playing, this is what we're going to play. We come to our scrims tomorrow with a plan. We've lost the last 6 games in a row. Let's come tomorrow with, you know, you come with a core of 3 that you want to play if that's where we're struggling. You know, you say to Oceans, right, I want you to nail down 4 gods you're going to play in mid, and you're going to play them really well, and we're going to figure out what we need to play alongside that. I feel like that doesn't really happen. Yeah, I think the supports on the two teams have been the worst players so far. Ionic used to be nuts. He used to be so good at Smite. I don't know how many of you guys were around in the COG Red days and TSM days, but Ionic was a fucking beast, dude. He was like Ionic and Gars on that team. Bush, oh god, that team was so good. David, just Snoopy, like fucking all 5 of those players are nuts. But Ionic was a very good player back then, and I'd like to see him get back to that stage. I think we haven't really seen it at all so far. So far this phase, and I would love to see Ionic back where I think he could be. He just looks a bit lost in the support role at the moment. He looks a bit like I feel like I feel like their core needs someone to... If they picked up a jungler who just tells them what to do, that'd be perfect. Like if Ionic and Oceans were just getting told what to do. I think maybe that's why Joshi moved into the mid lane before, by the way, was just to tell the core what to do. That's just complete conjecture because I have no idea. Jake's about to come back and save one of those teams. Jake's would be an improvement for either of them, in my opinion, just because he has experience. One thing I have heard is that Jigs don't really... NA players and Jigs don't get on in general. A lot of people don't like Jigs. I don't know the guy, so I can't tell you why. I think Raffer didn't like him as well. I think people claimed he was arrogant, which I think in this situation would be good for both of these teams. Anyway, Trifecta are better than LG. I think that this set like 100% proved it. For me, in my mind, it was already there. I already had made my decision. The Trifecta were better than LG. Yeah, I think everyone knew already. Yeah, I think everyone was on the same boat with these two teams. And I think the Trifecta's roster change improved them, whereas LG was a sideward step. Maybe before the roster change, they would have been closer to parity. And LG, I guess they have to adjust to their roster change a bit more. Putting a better mid laner in for Trifecta doesn't really make so much of a difference as changing your jungler out. You wanted Laspera to solo weekend though? I think a lot of people did. And that's the thing. I think, again, all the Laspera fans, I didn't really think this was a thing. This is something that I realized recently. I thought it was mostly NA. This sounds a bit dumb. Thinking back on it, it's a bit dumb. But I hadn't noticed that any EU players had these really passionate fans. Actually, I think Adapting has them as well. But there's some players who have these, streamers, whatever, who have these fans who are just fucking nuts, right? They're fucking idiots. And you see them... You see them around places, and you're like, "What are you fucking talking about?" There was one recently where someone was like, "Yeah, I think Laspera and Adapting are top 2 junglers in SPL." Like before he'd moved, like I was like, "What are you talking about? Like what? Where is your evidence of this? Where have you seen anything to suggest that ever?" And I didn't notice, but Laspera has these fans, and I think a lot of those fans will probably be people who watch my stream as well. I know we share a lot of viewers. I think he's a really cool guy, a good streamer, but like people need to calm down and just put the thinking caps on a little bit. Oh, Deathwalker's followers, he does have some followers who are like that as well. Yeah, I guess maybe it's just all the big streamers, to be honest. But either way, he's a good jungler. He's a bottom SPL jungler. That's where he is. Weekend was also a bottom SPL jungler at the start of the split. He stepped it up a bit. It is what it is. We'll get into predictions for the rest of the games this week later on. Laspera over Weekend? Nah, not at the moment. I think that's just wrong. My followers? I think my followers would call me a dick if I was being a dick. I hope you guys would. Anyway, Tuesday games, yesterday's games. I did clean my room. I think I would like to hope that people have seen me call myself bad enough times that they'd have enough respect for me to tell me I'm a big dummy if I was being a big dummy, or if I was really wrong, tell me I'm being really wrong. I think that I might be wrong on a lot of SPL things, by the way. Like SPL players probably know that I'm wrong on stuff, and they think I'm being dumb about it. If you're an SPL, SML player, whatever else, and you're in the chat, feel free to drop me a message or do it publicly or do whatever and tell me I'm wrong about things. Yes, I am very wrong. Yeah, I was about to move you up the rankings vote. This was a bait. This was all a bait. And you're all moving down the fucking rankings because I'm always fucking right, you dumb cunts. How many SML wins do you all have this split? Frosty has one more than me, but I guess also everyone who's been on the actual team is better than me. But fuck you all. Rival versus Visa, another cool set. Sorry, we're going back. Fuck. let's get back on topic. Let's have a sip of wine. This'll get us back in where we need to be. Visa looked trash in the first 2 games. Yeah, I agree. Visa looked a bit lost. Again, Nika struggled pretty hard in solo against Final. I was glad he stuck to his guns, kinda. Yeah, it was disappointing. Rival were really, really good. They continue to be good. I think Twig has grown on this Rival squad as the weeks have gone on. Twig's only gotten better. Wine or beer? I like both. I'm going to a beer. Off topic again. Fuck, man. I should just turn chat off. Off topic again. I'm going to a beer festival tomorrow after work, so that should be nice. Have some nice beers. Twig has really grown on this Rival roster for me over the last little while. I think he's gotten a lot better. Because Twig's getting used to not playing with Prime. Yeah, he has been with Prime for a long time. I think he's been really strong. Did I talk about the Splice VZ United set? Oh shit, did I miss that? I didn't actually. This was so United showed some promise in game 3, right? But I think United looked even weaker than Visa did against Splice in that set. And that third loss they took had to be fucking painful. Like really painful. That's a sore one. It was cool to see Ice just try and take a game and win it single-handedly. You could tell he was kind of pissed, right? It wasn't even a throw. Not gonna lie, I didn't like Twig's Daji. I can't really remember the Daji game he played. But yeah. Was that... Oh, they played Horus Daji, right? In some game? Yeah, it wasn't good. Even that far ahead, I thought Splice were still gonna win. I actually turned that off, to tell you the truth. I went to cook dinner or something, I think. But I thought they were going to win. Oh well. Unfortunate. Horus hasn't looked great so far. Hasn't had any good performances. Rival versus Visa, as I said. Yeah, the Zong solo, by the way. I'm hyped for Zong solo. How do I feel about F. talking about rap for 10 minutes of the cast? That was the game I went to cook dinner while it was on. I stopped paying attention. Yeah, sorry, that was the police coming to get me for my shit opinions on SPL. I think... Alright. This, again, we're going off topic, but, you know, that's what we do now, apparently. I think that you can go off topic in a cast and it can be okay, because sometimes there's not a lot to talk about. You got to fill space. It's kind of hard. Look at us right now going off topic from our fucking SPL chat. It's not really relevant. Talk about casting in general. And I would never like to think that I know any more about casting than the casters do, because I don't. They've been doing it for longer. They're better than me. They help each other out and they learn and they study, I'm sure, and all that shit. But what I do not like is I feel like a lot of the time when they go off topic on cast, it's about like American sports or rap or other things that I don't understand. American sports is the big one, where I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I know they're trying to make comparisons to things they know and understand, but I feel like maybe an EU person needs to point this out, because there's a lot of off-topic shit and references that I don't get. They're like, yeah, it's like the Penguins in the fourth quarter, am I right? And I'm like, yeah, dude, sure, it's just like the Penguins in Ice Ball. I don't fucking know what they're talking about, man. Yeah. So there's that. My Scottish cast is the best. I would like to bring back... Oh, I've got such a good cast for Vote. I'm never going to use this, so I'm just going to say it. Because you guys... And also, nobody would get it. But Vote is from a place called Kilwinning. I was going to, like, at some point be like, the man from Kilwinning gets the winning kill as they push down the... Something like that. Like, I feel like it would have been fucking unreal. It would have been... Ugh! It would have been sick. But I can't do it now. Because I've ruined it. Ha-has in the chat. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's good stuff. So, are we moving swiftly? Deicide. You'd pay money to see Vote cast? You'd have to see it, because you would have to mute it, because you wouldn't understand what he's saying. Great one. Thanks, chat. Thanks for the support. Do we move along? To tomorrow. The game's tomorrow. Right, let's quickly outline where we're at in the standings. So, we have 5 teams confirmed for MSI. Those teams are Dignitas, Rival, PK, E United, and here's the 4th one. Splice. Those are the 5 teams confirmed. Do I think I might be able to cast at lands? I don't know. I don't think they'd invite me because some of the casters don't like me very much. But maybe if I ask, maybe I shall. I hope that the MSI isn't Twitch exclusive. I need to find that out. So the last spot, the 6th spot, right, is going to either Team Visa or SSG. So what needs to happen for SSG to make it is SSG need to beat both Team Visa and SK in the next couple days. And what needs to happen for Team Visa to make it is either Team Visa beat SSG or SSG lose to SK. Either one. It's fine. So that's it. So let's talk about what we expect to happen. This is the... So I would really like this set tomorrow, but it doesn't because Kabom's subbing in, unfortunately. But yeah, let's talk about this. SSG versus Visa. I expect... So this is a fucking big set for Visa, for me. I think for SSG, it's not that big a set. I think they'd really like to win, but I feel like if they lose, it's not awful. Whereas I feel like Visa being such a fucking slope that they need to win this set. And I think they will win the set. I think it's going to be a 3-2 to Team Visa, is what I expect. If they don't win this set, it's rough. And I think that if they don't win this set, SK will do them a massive favor and beat SSG. I have a weird feeling about it. But I'm going 3-2 Visa. I think that they'll have adjusted. I'm liking this Anher mid thing they're doing. Dardes has looked really good on that. I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. SSG, we haven't seen them in a while, so I'm not sure where they're going to be at. Yeah. Spice versus PK. Who gives a shit? PK are going to win. I really like this is just a bad thing for PK, to be honest. They had momentum. They want to keep the momentum going. Beating Splice would be big for them. It's a big momentum check as well to see if they're as good as they seem like they've been playing. They haven't had a while to play. I think that playing against Splice is just with a sub is just going to be bad for them. Because Splice, it doesn't matter to them. If SSG beat Visa and SS, doesn't it go off win-loss because it's a tie in the head-to-head? From what I heard, if SSG beat Visa and then SK beat SSG, Visa go. Yeah, SSG wouldn't have enough wins. Yeah. Okay, cool. Good that I'm not wrong on the stuff here. I would love Kabom to just let Munch on the keyboard. Munch solos Deathwalker. It's all over for him. Do I think Splice wins with Baskin? I think it's a fucking great set with Baskin. That's what I'd say. I think both teams probably don't pull out all the stops to win because I think their seeding is pretty much locked in and they want to save stuff for MSI. As much as that sounds like a cop-out answer, I think it wouldn't have been a big deal. Is game over if they give Deathwalker Osiris? I don't think so. I think Baskin will be fine against it. Yeah, I think that PK win this 3-0, by the way. 3-0, like, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Splice aren't going to bring out anything crazy and good because winning wins them nothing, so they'll just play stuff that they played before. Oh, the Nip benched Dennis. Again. Well, he benched himself before, right? But anyway. Okay, SSG versus SK. I've talked about this briefly. I think SK win. I think SK needs to win as well. This is another one where SK... I can't believe that they've had such a big collapse, right? They looked so good earlier on. Teams figured out what they were doing. Invades became less potent because of the XP changes to invades on enemy buffs. And SK just collapsed, right? They just became, like... They were competent in the early game, and as soon as teamfights started, they just looked completely and utterly lost. Completely and utterly lost. So I'm expecting them to have been working hard. I hope they come back in, put a performance on. I think this is a game which means more for them, because I expect SSG to lose this. But I think this is a game that means more for them than for SSG, because they need to turn up. They need to fucking improve. Dig versus United, I think Dig take this. Dig again, I think, have looked poor recently, and they need to step it up going into MSI. I think they need a kind of confidence booster. They need to show that they are who they are. But I think with the players that they have, after taking the rough loss they did to Team Visa, they will have stepped up and they will have, maybe knocked the cobwebs out of their practice schedule, started studying the game a bit more, getting better and better. So I reckon that, yeah, we see a step up from Dig, and they take down United. I'm going to go with a 3-1 to Dig on this one. There's something weird about the way United click for me. United just aren't quite... They just don't quite have it for me yet. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's... I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. I feel like they don't have a solid identity yet is one thing. Kalas and Ice are really, they're fucking sick together. They always have been. Their calls are on fire. They don't feel like a team. I think people are saying that Ice has played poorly when I'm not sure he has. Like, he's been alright. What is that? Okay. Why is everybody asking me if I'm feeling okay? This is weird. BMT popped off a lot early on. The early sets he played really well, and then he had a couple offsets, getting used to the higher quality. And then I think he played really well on Agni in the recent set against Visa. I think he was like almost the deciding factor on the fact that they won, which was cool. I don't think BMT is the... No, I don't think he's the off factor. I think it's a synergy thing, probably. The other thing is to note is that they haven't really lived. Emil's just moved over. I think he's over permanently now. He did get his visa, so he's just moved over. And Benji doesn't live with them, from what I understand. He stays at home, flies back and forth. So maybe it's similar to SSG in that they don't have the synergy. Also, this might be... I was watching Barra's stream earlier, right? Which was a great stream. Played some marbles, had a good time. Benji lives in Atlanta? Ah, just not at the house. Okay. I thought he flew in, though. He has an apartment on his own. Okay. That's cool. United, do they have a coach? I don't know that they have a coach. Marbles was great. But Barra, at the end of his stream, said that he wasn't sure when his next stream would be because they have SPL the next 2 days, and also they might be looking at houses on Saturday. So that's cool. So does that mean that SSG are taking shit seriously and moving in together and looking to win? Because I think that's a really big factor on whether or not they compete. For me, is if they move in together, I think it'll make them a lot stronger. It's something I would really like to see, personally. I think that the fact that they didn't live together was an issue with the previous roster. Do I think Andy Mid is worth? Yeah, I think it very much is. Would you really want to live with a bunch of nerds? Yeah, nah, dude. It couldn't be me. Fucking nerds. SSG vs Visa. Yeah, I'm excited for it as well. It'll be good. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. Central European time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, sometime Pacific time. I don't know. The Pacific time zone is 8 hours for me. So is that like... is that 8? Is that 8 a.m.? That's rough. 8 a.m. Pacific time. Is Alpha Jacko going to be there for their games? I think he'll be there. He's only going to be there for 3 hours off EST. Yeah, I thought... Oh, 3 hours. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's so early, dude. That sucks. I'm sorry, people on Pacific time, if you want to watch the SPL. That's a shame. I'm not even up at 8. And I work for a living. I can't imagine what it's like for other people. Yeah, I'm sorry, West Coasters. So yeah, hopefully the SSG guys are moving in together. I'm not sure if this is a thing. I guess we'll find out at some point. We used to have to watch Lands at 2 a.m. Yeah, it is rough for that. At least that's at the weekend normally. Is there anything else to talk about? We could talk about this thing, I guess. What made me laugh? This made me laugh earlier. Fuck's sake, guys. Just one time I would like something to come out on the website and not be fucking dog shit. Just one time, please. Make an announcement. Make like a fucking. You know what else I was looking at recently? How long has this website been here for? What is this shit? What is this? Why is this a scrollable table with no data in it? Nothing. How is it? How many esports websites are they gonna fuck up? Like, oh. But don't worry, guys. It's not that bad. The esports website it's fine, man. Oh god, it infuriates me. It's happened again. Can they just? Oh. Ooh, that's a fucked up link as well. So, but Spice Invitational is on the Skillshot Twitch channel. Can we see if the MSI is on it as well? I want to check if the MSI is on Twitch. Yes, it's on Twitch and YouTube. That means we can restream it. So we'll try and get some shit going on. What is this items page? I've never seen that before. Oh. Got Chrome over here. Ah, items are objects and artifacts. Cool. I mean, that's all pullable from the API. Super weird. But yeah, we'll get some shit. No, it can't get me in trouble if it's on Twitch. If it's on Twitch, then it's restreamable. It's fine. It's the general rule. That's how it always used to be. When does MSI start? July 8th. It's a little while away yet. I know people have been asking me what I think is going to happen at MSI. That's going to be next week's stream, I think. We'll do next week's stream. We'll do our power rankings heading into MSI. Semi-finals being BO3? I don't know. Also, something from MSI that I don't like, by the way, is this. I would have liked this to be different. I feel bad for the placement teams. I feel like the placement teams come in, combine power rankings. Hawk number 1. SML power rankings, me, everyone else, also Baskin and Scream. They're up there. Then there's me. Then there's everyone else. Then there's Danny. That's just the way it is. Hawk's just been kicked from his team. No, he hasn't. I was bangable. Thanks, Ken H6. What are the other two teams? What do you mean, the placement teams? The placement teams are the teams that come out of the SCL/SML multi-fucking platform shag-off. Where, I'm sorry, but the SCL players get dicked. I see no world in which SCL win. Like, is there any way? And then like the placement teams who go up, which is probably like Armad. I think maybe Sanguine could get through. But let's say for now EU Pride. Let's say that all of Flashpoint make it, and we've got Flashpoint Simplicity or something. Yeah, they play against each other. Venus Clan. Sanguine won't get through. I'm gonna go. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Flashpoint Simplicity. Get through, and then they get dicked by Dig and Rival. It's just the way that's what's gonna happen. I'm sorry, everybody. That's just what I think's gonna happen. Imagine you stomped Dig though. I would like to see it. I would say that Dig has the biggest chance of losing, even out of if you put Dig, Rival, PK, Splice there. Against the SML teams, I would say that Dig is the one that has the highest chance of losing to any of them. I don't know why that is. I think Dig are just like, they don't play pressure as much, and so I don't think they would deal with like SML cheese as well. Maybe that's what it is. Dig are much more of a late game calculated, slow, methodical approach. And if they got spanners thrown in the works, I feel like they could lose. But it sucks. What I would much rather see, what I think would be a better way to do the tournament would be to get these games to fuck, right? SPL number 6 versus placement number 1, SPL number 5 versus placement number 2. Then you do 3v4, or no. Yeah, I'm not sure how you manage it from there. Maybe 3v4, and you have the winner of this go against SPL number 1, and the winner of this go against SPL number 2 or something. I don't know, something like that. That'd be cool. Imagine Draco Marino on Hercules. Yeah. What teams are good in SML that can do something? So I don't think Armada will be nearly as good anymore. They'll still be good, but probably not. Yeah, make it double elim. I think they just don't have the time to do double elim. I get it. There's time constraints. But I think that Simplicity is probably the only team that has a chance of doing anything, and even then, they don't have a chance of doing anything. Sorry, Simplicity guys. I like you all. I think you're good players, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Unfortunately so. How is their time constraints? Like flying people out, getting them to stay in hotels, having the casters and talent be at the studio, producers be there over the weekend, all that shit, and promotions and stuff, I guess. I don't know how it all works, but there must be a reason they've only got it for 3 days. It's not because they fucking hate good competition. This is just the way they see the best out there. I'm not going to complain about that. Realistically. Anyway. Wait, is it during the week? I just realized it's fucking during the week. That's shite. Why is it during the week, man? That's lame as hell. What time are these games at? Are they the normal time? Fuck, dog. Why they have Worlds at DreamHack and not their studio? Because their studio can't have an audience at all. Yeah, Monday or Thursday. That's lame-o. Well, if console rival vs rival, that'd be neat. Yeah, I don't really get the midweek thing. I'm not a fan of it. I would much rather this was at weekend. It's just gonna feel like the worst thing as well is it won't feel like a real tournament to the players. There's no crowd. It's at LAN where they always play. Hey Meerkat. It's during the week. I don't know, man. Bit lame. But yeah. Alright, prizes. Yeah, there's money. For the fleet. Is that a thing that you guys say? Are we going to see you at the mid-season invitational, Meerkat? Hope you get picked up. Let's go over the games one more time. I'm going to go 3-2 Visa, 3-0 PK. 3... Did I say what my score was for this? I'm not sure, to be honest. I think SK will win. I think they win 3-2 as well. I think Space Station get double 3-2'd. And then Diggy United's going to be 3-1 to Dig. So there you go. Yeah. Anybody got any final questions for the stream? Because that's it. It's a short one. 3-0 for Dig? They will be mad. Could be special if it was anywhere but the studio. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Hockey. How am I? I'm very well, thanks, Tousty. How are you? Is Team Queso the best team? Unfortunately not. The CD thing with head-to-head or plus-minus. Whoa.
Everyone gets
Thanks for the 17 months. Am I lonely? Nah, not really. Favorite ice cream? I am lactose intolerant. Am I feeling okay, man? I am. Right. Plus-minus versus head-to-head. I prefer plus-minus. I think I might be alone in this sentiment. I think a lot of people prefer... The website's wrong. It's head-to-head before plus-minus. Are tacos sandwiches? Why is there an apostrophe there? I prefer plus minus. I think it rewards consistency over the season. I think having an off week and losing to a team shouldn't mean that you are like, it doesn't mean you're worse than them. Consistency over this season should be what's rewarded. For me, head to head is shit. Plus minus is an insane idea. Is that because PK have nutty plus minus? Yeah, you do, right? You're only worse than rival. Is chili considered soup? No. It's more like a stew, and a stew is not a soup. Every sport goes off plus minus first. I think that's the thing. Someone was saying to me, name a sport that goes over plus minus first. And I was like, doesn't every sport go over plus minus first? I was like, soccer, football. It was an American person, I think. Am I drunk? No, I've not even finished one glass of wine, unfortunately. Is dick considered food? Depending on the dick, yeah, I think so. Why would Dig be seed 1 if... Because Dig have the head-to-head, and that's what it goes off. Do I drink or eat soup? I eat soup. Unless it's in a cup, in which case you drink it. Are all teams are playing in Atlanta for MSI? Yes. But I prefer a Brazilian girl or a German girl. I like German. I actually speak a little bit German, so I go German. But I do like Brazilian people also. Kliz is Brazilian, so. How about if the dick is spotted? That's a dessert. Yes. Am I feeling okay? I am. Am I feeling okay, mate? Yeah, I am. That's too deep. All right. Do you think if Rival played Dig now, they would win? Yes. How many push-ups can I do? Like 25, probably. Can people stop asking me how I'm feeling? You're stressing me out. Who's sexier, Deathwalker or Vote? I'm not doing push-ups. It's not happening. Am I a drag queen? No. Who's sexier, Deathwalker or Vote? It depends on whether Deathwalker has his mustache. I'm not doing push-ups. I'm ending the stream. That's enough. Thank you all very much for watching. I'm going to throw a host over to somebody. Let's see who is live at the moment, who I can send you guys over to. Genetic Smite is live. I think you guys should go see how he's getting on. Tell him that Hazer beat you 2-0. Just remind him of the time that we played at Smite. And I beat him 2-0. That would be good. Be good if you guys can do that. Because I think it still makes him sad. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you guys later. Peace, peace, peace.